Good luck.
Merhaba arkadaşlar, hepiniz IEFT Talks webinarlarına hoş geldiniz. Bugün İngiltere'nin ve dünyanın en iyi üniversitelerinden University of Essex'te eğitim ve bursları Heather'dan dinliyor olacağız. Lütfen sorularınızı questions kısmından sormayı unutmayın. Yes, Heather, the stage is yours now.
Thank you very much and hello everyone. So my name is Heather and I am from the University of Essex. So I'm going to be telling you a little bit about our three campuses, what it's like to study in Essex, what courses we have, the support we give you, and then kind of the fees and the accommodation and all those extra bits of information. So my email address is posted into the chat and is here as well. If you would like to stay in contact and receive more information from Essex, you can scan this QR code, which will be at the beginning and the end of my presentation, or I have posted the link in the chat as well if you think of any questions or you like what you hear and would like to seriously consider studying with us at Essex. So why should you come to Essex? I'm going to be telling you about all the more comfort kind of feelings about why you should study at Essex, what courses we offer, but obviously rankings are quite important as well. So we have TEF Gold, so that's the Teaching Excellence Framework, and is given out as gold, silver and bronze to UK universities, and obviously gold is the best, so we have really good teaching excellence at Essex. We're also great for research, so we're top 25 for research quality, as well as being top for politics in the UK and top 5 for all social sciences. So we're a dual intensive university, so whether you are doing an undergraduate degree or doing a PhD with us, there's always going to be that mix of research and the research that your lecturers do and feeding that into your teaching or giving you opportunities to join in that research as well. We're also a very international university, and we were ranked 4th for International Outlook. So we have a lot of obviously international students coming in to study with us, but we have lots of international staff, connections, partner universities, study abroad opportunities, and just connections and links with other universities around the world, making us a really international place to be within the English countryside. Our business school is top 2% in the world, as it is Amber accredited, as well as the great for politics and social sciences. We're also 13th for law in the UK. So we have a range of different subjects that we really excel at, really. So where is Essex? It's probably not somewhere you've heard of, and Essex is actually an entire county. We have three campuses, our main one being in Colchester, so that's that green kind of blob on the map, and as you can see, it's on the east coast. We're by the coast, but only an hour from London as well. Southend is one of our other campuses, so it is a slightly smaller campus, specifically for acting, business and healthcare students. Again, this is on the coast. Southend-on-Sea is its official kind of longer title, and that again is only an hour from London on the train. So you get the perfect mix of coastal living, country living, as well as that great access to the capital city as well. If you're someone who's maybe a little bit unsure about moving to a new country and the hustle and bustle of a city, we give that slightly quieter life, but definitely have the option to still kind of take part in the capital experience too. We're a relatively new university, as we were founded in 1964, and we only in the early 2000s also opened our Loughton campus, which is where East 15 Acting School is based. So this is on the edge of London. You're on the edge of the tube line for the Central line. So this is smack bang in kind of easy access to London, but still is really green, has lots of parkland, and I'll show you some of the pictures of the campus in a bit, and you'll see it's a real blend. So we also have those 3 campuses with 21 academic departments, so it's a real broad kind of mix of different things that we teach. So this is Colchester. So this is our largest campus. You can see pretty much everything on this map. So the bottom and the top, you have all of the accommodation options. So we have South Courts on the south side of campus, the towers, the houses on the north, and some just over the road on the left-hand side. There's a whole bunch of accommodation blocks just to the left of that picture as well. You can also see our Edge Hotel School, which is over in the right-hand corner, and that is where our hotel school students work and gain experience as they take part in their degree. You also see all of the different green space that we have, all the sports areas again on the right-hand side, our new sports arena, as well as our old kind of sports hall. So we have 2 big sports arenas and sports halls now. And then in the middle, just between the lake and the edge of the photo, you can see what we call our squares. So we have 5 squares, which is where all of our academic buildings are based. So you have computer science and psychology and the STEM building towards the lower end of campus. And you see the library and the student centre at the top end with all the other subjects in between. And our business school has its own separate building, which is the one in the left-hand corner behind some trees. It might be slightly difficult to see on this map, but that's everything. So it might look quite big, but it is all in one place, and you can very easily get from across campus in 10-15 minutes maximum. So Colchester has extensive research and teaching facilities. So our STEM Centre was opened in 2018, brand new state-of-the-art laboratories. Our sports arena as well seats over 1,600 students. So we've put a lot of effort into those areas. And then we also have things like our translation lab, the data archives for social sciences. We have a human rights clinic, a law clinic. So whatever your specialty, we're going to have something there for you to make the most of. Colchester itself is about 2 miles from our centre of campus, so you can either walk there or catch a bus, and it only takes about 15 minutes to get there. We have the castle, as we are the oldest recorded UK town. There's lots of shopping, both on campus and off campus. You've got all of your kind of modern conveniences and everything like that in town, as well as having little shops for kind of picking up bread, milk and things like that on campus as well. And there are actually 3 train stations in and around Colchester. So that gives you the super easy access into London. And then you're also, as you can see, all that countryside, very close to a lovely town called Wivenhoe. It's not even a town really, it's a village with pubs, typical fish and chips, things like that. So Southend is the other kind of coastal town that we have. So this is a very small campus. It's pretty much the forum that you can see there, and another teaching building for those very specialist subjects. And the crazy kind of colourful building in the background is the accommodation. So this is in the middle of campus, in the middle of town, sorry, is this small campus. So again, you've got 2 train stations going from Southend. There's also a small airport, although it doesn't have flights from Turkey, unfortunately. It is pretty tiny. But we guarantee student accommodation on both our Colchester and our Southend campus for first-year students. Here we also, again, have the state-of-the-art research and technology. So if you're studying something like oral health science or nursing, you have all of the practical labs. We have an old converted church, is now where all of our acting students are, and so you have aerial silks and stage combat. So there's an armory inside an old church, but we've converted that space so that it gives you everything that you need. This is a very modern and integrated campus. So if you're interested in international business, tourism and management, things like that, it's a really excellent location. As Southend-on-Sea is a big holiday destination for UK kind of holiday makers, and has the world's longest pleasure pier. So that's just kind of a fun fact about Southend for you. Finally, we have Loughton, which is the acting school. So as I said, it's in London, but obviously looks very, very green here. You have this building and a couple of other more modern buildings are where all of our acting students are housed. There are stages, there is a big behind the scenes production area, workshop shed for our some of our students to make props and things like that. It's got a very artistic feel, as you'd probably imagine, as you are all acting students, but it's got cutting edge lighting, things like that. So it can put on really well-formed productions and then showcase them at the Edinburgh Fringe to any broadcasters, what are they called, theatre reps, things like that, so they can showcase their training to actual real life kind of West End performers and things like that as well. So they're the 3 campuses, and this is the range of courses we have. So this is just to give you an idea. We do also have lots of variations on these courses. So we have migration studies, for example, which isn't listed here, but is part of our sociology department. We have quite a lot of combined courses as well. So you can do, say, economics with business, or business with a modern language, psychology with cognitive neuroscience. So there's quite a lot of different options available to you. We don't have medicine or architecture, but we do have a lot of cultural studies, a lot of law, business, human rights, and things like that. So there might well be something there that you find interesting. So at the beginning, I mentioned our ranking for international outlook. We have over 130 different nationalities represented in Colchester by our student population. And more than 40% of our students across all 3 of our campuses are from outside of the UK. So you definitely wouldn't be alone, and we have a really good number of Turkish students on campus as well. So you're not going to be the first one, and you're definitely not going to be alone. But if you don't kind of want to see another Turkish person if you're coming to Essex, you can very easily find different groups of people as well to get involved with. As well as bringing in a lot of kind of outside international talent in both the students and the staff, we have a really diverse group of staff as well. We give you the opportunity to study abroad. So you can come to us and then do a year or a term somewhere else. We have a relationship with Koç University. So if you did want to go back to Istanbul, say for a year of undergraduate study, you could do. Or we have connections in China, in Latin America, in other parts of Europe, to be able to get a kind of an extra taste, as well as your full degree. You'll be able to see other places as well. You can also study a language alongside your degree. So we have the modern languages such as French, German, Spanish, Italian, but we also have options to take Arabic or Mandarin and things like that in our Colchester campus, a few in our Southend campus as well. So that is a possibility. And then we also have a lot of different cultural activities and societies on campus. So for example, we celebrate Chinese New Year every year, usually on campus, with big kind of celebrations there. If there are national holidays in your country, things like that, then we put on celebrations for those kinds of things. And we have a number of different societies. So Turkish society, we also have things like the Irish society, Japanese society, and you're more than welcome to join them. So if you wanted to, say, join the French society, you can just do so to improve your French language skills, things like that. So lots of different opportunities to get involved with different cultural activities. So going to university, you're probably doing it with the idea of getting a good job at the end. So by doing all of these kind of cultural things, you're definitely giving yourself a good advantage for being employed, as well as kind of getting a good degree. You have these extra opportunities. We also offer work placements, so you can do a year-long placement as part of your undergraduate degree. A few of our master's courses also have placement years available as well. If you aren't doing, say, a full year, we do have kind of internships and shorter placements that are possible, and the placement team can work with you to try and squeeze them in. So whether it's alongside your study for a semester, whether it's maybe over, say, the Easter break where we have a couple weeks off, you could go and work somewhere for a week or two just to get some really intense training. There's also the opportunity of going to conferences. So if you're doing a PhD, this might be the opportunity to speak at conferences, or if you're an undergraduate, if there were different opportunities that came up, you'd be able to attend them and things like that. We also bring in a lot of outside talent and have different guest lectures. So you can see people just from within the university itself, but maybe from outside of your department, giving specific talks that you find of interest. We also have things like the Think series. So they're just really interesting kind of issue-based subjects. So it might be things about whether drugs should be legalized in society, how to reform prisons, things like that, which might not necessarily be part of your curriculum, but you might just find interesting to go to and kind of join in different conversations. We also have volunteering opportunities, so as well as the work placements or getting a job alongside your degree, which I'll talk about a little bit in a minute, you could also volunteer. So a number of our societies are open to helping kind of the the community in Colchester more widely, and things like that. So you could also just give up your time to help other people if that was something you would like to do. So if you're doing all this kind of thing, you can achieve the Big Essex Award. So this is basically a way of recognising all of your extracurricular activities and commitment to extra employability options, volunteering, things like that on your graduation certificate. So there are 3 levels. So you've got the bronze, 4 levels, sorry, bronze, silver, gold, and platinum, depending on what kind of activities you do, how long you do them for, things like that. So that can be like a little extra bonus to really show to employers that you committed to something outside of your study. So within most of our courses, we recognise that finding a job is probably quite daunting, and a number of you, if you wanted to make use of the graduate scheme, for example, and stay in the UK for an extra 2 years, or whether you want to return to Turkey or move somewhere else entirely, they'll give you tips and tricks as part of a module in order to tell you what kind of skills that you have, what you're developing, and how they can be used in kind of the real world. The placement team, we also have a careers team, are all going to help you to try and find jobs. The employability and careers team are also there for you after you graduate. So they're there for you for a number of years after. They can help you with things like writing your CV, writing cover letters, but also maybe helping you. So if you're doing computer science, but you kind of don't know what to do with your degree, you're in your last year maybe, and you're like, what do you do with a computer science degree? They can help you, point you in the kind of different directions to see which one might work for you. There's also a lot of part-time study work opportunities even on campus. So things like the front runner scheme. So this is working on a project within a department. So me in the global office, we had a front runner helping us work on kind of looking at student numbers and where students are coming from and things like that. You might get one in a marketing team somewhere, things like that, which are part-time alongside your study. Or student ambassador roles are also a really great way of making money on campus. So this is, so when we have open days and people come to visit us on campus, you can offer to give them tours around campus, work with local school children on activity days and things like that. So it's kind of a nice on-campus way to make money. Or we also have the opportunity in the Students' Union to work in the shops on campus, things like that. And then within Colchester town itself, there is the opportunity to get a job in the local community too, in the restaurants, the supermarkets and things like that. So to help you after, obviously you kind of doing all this employability stuff, the main focus should still be your study. So we have 24-hour computer labs at both our Colchester and our Southend campuses. So whether you're an early riser or you like to study until 3 a.m, there's always going to be somewhere for you to study on campus. Colchester also has a 24-hour library. So again, if you're a bit of a night owl, you can get that book out at 4 in the morning or return it just before a deadline, things like that. I mentioned earlier all the different laboratories and research facilities that we have to offer, and that's not just in your kind of typical things that you might think of, like our robotics lab, for example, and our laboratories for our bioscience students, but those things like translation labs. We have a baby lab, for example, to study psychology of children and development, which also is part of linguistics and learning how small children acquire language. So there's lots of different things that you might not have thought of before. During this pandemic, you're obviously quite used to listen to people via webinars and recorded content. We have had our Listen Again service for a very long time. So Listen Again records lectures and allows you to listen to them at a later date. So maybe if you're revising, if you had a legitimate reason to not be in lecture, things like that, it's a really good tool for catching up. So it's kind of nowadays when you can kind of maybe watch a lecture at your leisure, or if it's recorded, you can listen to it again. This has been something we've done for a while now. We also have the IT help desk. So they're there to help you if your computer is playing up, having problems, if there are certain things like programming software and things you need to download, they can always give you tips on that kind of thing. And we also have the Talent Development Centre. So coming to the UK can be quite daunting, and even if you have met the English language requirements, for example, academic English can be quite different to conversational English. So the Talent Development Centre can help you with English lessons, just to kind of keep you brushed up if you feel like you need that little bit more support. But they can also help you things like referencing. So the UK styles, if you have to do Harvard referencing for one of your essays, but you've always done it in a different way, they can help you with that. If you are doing, say, a bioscience and maths isn't your strongest point, they can give you maths tutoring. So they're there really to help you with some of the more kind of basic level things, so that you can shine through in your essays and your coursework and things like that. We also finally have mentors. So you have peer-to-peer mentors. So they might be a student in a year above you, something like that, who can say, oh yeah, that course is quite difficult, but hang in there, you'll get through it. Or, oh, if you don't understand that, we might be able to help you, as well as having academic mentors as well. So you have a personal tutor, things like that, who can help you and guide you with both the study, and if you had any personal problems, they would be there to help you with them as well. So as well as all the study, we do want you to have fun at university. So the Students' Union is there still to support you, to give advice, be a platform for you to be heard. We have lots of different officers. So we have an international officer, we have a women's officer, we have wellbeing officers, a president, things like that. And they are the voice of the students to make sure that staff take into account all the students that are there. So the thousands of students who are studying, and trying to make sure that your learning experience is as positive as it can be. Simply by becoming a student, you're automatically a member. And we also offer lots of free on-campus events. So things like Welcome Week, where you can sign up to all of the different sports teams and societies. So we have over 140 different groups to sign up to if you would like to. If you can't find one that you like, you are more than welcome with 2 other people to set up your own society. We have all sorts of different ones that I will show you in a minute, some examples. But they also do things like we have Christmas market on campus, so you can just buy lots of different food. I already mentioned the Chinese New Year, things like that. At the end of exams a couple of years ago, they had a blow-up water slide going down the hill, so students could just blow off some steam. We've had petting zoo, puppy therapy, all these kinds of things that are put on by the Students' Union to really help just to have fun whilst you're studying, because it can be quite stressful. So this is some of the variety. So things that you've probably heard of, such as football, debating societies, as well as the cultural ones I mentioned. But we also have things such as the Juggling, Fire and Magic Society. We had a Pokemon Go society when that was really popular. But we also have academic ones as well. So you can see here the Law Society, so that would help you with networking opportunities potentially. The Philosophy Society would be for philosophy students or those who wanted to, you know, kind of talk about different philosophical questions, debates, things like that. So there's lots and lots of different things for you to do. The arts is one of the biggest ones we have. So we have acting or drama on all 3 of our campuses. You don't need to be studying it to join one of our performing arts societies if you want to study politics, but you've always had quite a lot of fun just doing amateur dramatics in school. You can definitely continue to do that. As we have these theatres on campus, it also means that outside talent comes in. So we have live music, live film screenings, things like that across the campuses. We also have a large collection of Latin American art. So we have art history and curating specifically with Latin American pieces. They're also displayed around our Silbert student building and things like that. So if you happen to be interested in Latin American art, we have a rather large collection. And then we also have student media. So things like writing for the newspaper, which can just be really good fun, but can also look great on your CV if you're interested in journalism or something like that. And we also have radio and TV stations. So you can either do the kind of behind the scenes things or be kind of the voice or the face of one of those things. Sports is another huge thing that is a part of UK kind of university culture as well as general culture. If it's not your thing, that's perfectly fine. You can stick to the arts, you can stick to studying. If you just want to do something for fun, you can do. So we do have a gym and, as I said, our big sports arena. We have competitive sports and some of them are scholarship sports like volleyball, basketball, rugby sevens, a couple of things like that. We also have things like badminton courts, netball, foosball, things like that that you can just join in for fun. We're also quite unique in that we have a climbing wall. So we have a pretty active climbing society and lots of both indoor and outdoor sporting opportunities. So we have things like lacrosse, American football, as well as, like I said, kind of more popular sports like volleyball and netball. Derby Day is probably the biggest sporting day of the year. So it's a big rivalry between the University of Essex and the University of East Anglia. So our colours are black and red. So you'll see all the students kind of wearing those colours, and it's a big friendly rivalry. So whether you want to get involved on that day, even if you have no interest in sports, it's really fun. If you just want to keep fit or you want to play at a really competitive level, we've got lots of different options for you. And if you are a very high-end athlete, then we may well be able to offer you a scholarship as well. So it can be quite stressful moving to university. As I said, we're trying to make sure you have fun, but we also want to make sure that you're not kind of just forgetting your problems and you actually deal with them if you are feeling homesick, if you are struggling academically. So we have that social and academic support. I mentioned the mentors earlier, but there are people there for you to kind of say, I'm really struggling with this particular class, or to push you. If you really enjoy something and you want to know more, they can also point you in the right direction for furthering your interest too. We also have the Student Services Hub. Apologies for the 5 on the screen. So the Student Services Hub is your kind of one-stop shop for all sorts of different things. So it's where you can get IT support, but it's also where you can get mental health support. They can signpost you to online kind of coping mechanisms and tips and subscriptions, or things like therapy. They can also help you with choosing modules, finding housing, sorting out problems, things like that. So they're really there to listen to anything that you have going on, financial problems, things like that. We also have Nightline. So Nightline is more than 50 years old and was founded at the University of Essex. And this is run by students for students. So it's normally just kind of, you pick up the phone, you call them, and it can be the middle of the night. It runs 10 p.m. till 8 a.m. If you just want to chat with someone, if you're a bit upset, you can talk to them and they'll just give you kind of impartial advice, be there an ear for you. If there's something more serious, we have 24-hour security and they can always pass you over and help you out in that way as well. And in normal situations, there is a flat on campus as well. So you can pop in kind of tea and toast and a shoulder to cry on, things like that as well. So there's always someone there for you. We also have the multi-faith chaplaincy on campus. So we have lots of different denominations, or if you're not religious at all, the chaplain there is more than happy to just talk to anyone. And again, is another great resource for anyone of any faith or lack thereof. And we also have the NHS Medical Centre on campus. So that's hopefully quite reassuring. We have a doctor right there on campus. We encourage students to sign up as soon as they arrive, just for peace of mind. So things like COVID, at the moment you'd be treated completely for free because, you know, it's no one's fault, but there's someone there on campus to make sure that you're okay. And finally, if you're moving to the UK, you're going to need somewhere to live. So we have lots of different options. The prices range from about £102 per week to about £180 per week. So some of them are shared flats, some of them are 2 minutes from the centre of campus, some the furthest away is 15-minute walk, so everything is right there on campus. And within that fee, everything is kind of included. So those cheaper options are maybe the towers, which you can see on screen now, which is between 14 and 16 people with multiple shared bathrooms. Or you can maybe live in the University Keys, which is one of the most expensive options, that gives you a bigger bed, slightly more space in your room, maybe only 6 people in a flat, and your own private ensuite bathroom. So there's a real mix of different types of accommodation. All of them, however, include communal cleaning. So the kitchen, the hallways, and any shared bathrooms are cleaned for you at least once, if not 2-3 times a week. And all of your bills are included. So you've got internet, water, electric, gas, heating, all of those are rolled up into one fee. So there's no kind of hidden fee. You pay that one kind of set and you're good. You don't have to worry about anything else. And the really nice thing is that accommodation is guaranteed for your first year of study. So if you're a postgraduate student, as long as you apply for accommodation by the 31st of July, you are guaranteed somewhere to live on campus. And if you're an undergraduate student, you have until the 3rd of September to be allocated somewhere on campus as well. So that was quite a lot of information to take in. And if all of that sounds interesting to you, then what do you need to join us at Essex? So our entry requirements, if you are taking the lycée, we would ask for 70% overall. And if you have that or higher, you can gain direct entry at Essex. You would not need to do a foundation year. You can go straight into our programs. If you're taking IB, we would look for 30 IB points. There are some subject-specific things. So if you want to take, say, biomedical sciences, you would need to have biology at a certain level, maths at a certain level, things like that. But that's the kind of thing we can check for you. And if you're looking to do a master's degree or PhD study, then we would look for 2.5 from your bachelor's degree or 2.5 from your master's, depending what it is, or higher to gain access to one of those courses. When it comes to English language, the courses that we most often accept are IELTS, TOEFL, and the Cambridge Advanced or Extended. We also accept things like Pearson's, Michigan, and a couple of others. And it really varies as to what you would need. So if you were looking to do English language or literature and linguistics, something like that, we would probably look for a slightly higher IELTS score. Something like social work is what the 8.0 you would need. However, if you're looking for computer science, then usually the 6.0, or most of our undergraduate courses are 6.0, but PhDs and things, we would be looking for that higher end, as it is a kind of a really extensive piece of written work. So the fees for study, so undergraduate study, this depends on your course, is between £16,850 and £19,670 per year. And these are just the tuition fee costs. Accommodation would be extra. Taught masters, again, there's quite a range, so 15,440 to 19,380. If you are interested in doing an MBA, then that's £21,000. We do have a whole range of scholarships that I haven't mentioned on here for the MBA, but things like early bird discount and different reductions of fees are available. But you do also need to have 3 years of work experience for the MBA. So a lot of our students are probably more suited to the MBM, which would fall into the taught masters category. And finally, the research degrees are between £15,460 and £17,900 per year, again, depending on the subject that you will be studying. So we do have a few scholarships. So firstly, for undergraduate students, if you are taking IB and you achieve 34 points or more, there's an automatic £2,000 fee deduction in your first year. If, however, you are taking just the Turkish high school, then you can apply for the £3,000 non-EU Europe scholarship. So this is a competitive scholarship. It's open to students from Turkey, as well as other non-EU countries, so places like Azerbaijan, Russia, Norway. So it is a more competitive scholarship, but it is there for you to apply for. You can see the full details of our undergraduate scholarships on our website. I can always post the link at the end. For postgraduate scholarships, for academic excellence, you can achieve 3.0 or above GPA from your undergraduate degree. Then there is a £4,000 automatic tuition fee discount. So we would look at your transcript and kind of add it to your offer letter if applicable. If you do not have that high GPA, then you can also apply for the non-EU Europe scholarship of £3,000. You cannot combine both. And again, it is a competitive scholarship, but you would need to apply for it. And finally, if you're interested in a environmental, sustainable kind of course, so things like wild writing, environmental sciences, a range of different courses, which you can see kind of the exact criteria for, again, on the website that's listed there, then you can apply for a £10,000 tuition fee scholarship for those specific subjects through the GREAT campaign. So that's another one that's quite specific, but well worth applying for if you do fall into one of the right categories for that. So that's all the kind of general information I have about the University of Essex. We do have a couple of events that I just wanted to mention. So we do have a postgraduate webinar series. So we've run 3 already this year, and these are our coming up ones that are coming up soon. So if you're interested in business, we have a sustainable business webinar series running from the 26th to the 29th of April, and that is open for applications for booking now. So it's 1 week of different lectures to see what it's like to be sustainable in business from lots of different areas. We also have our linguistics one, which will be taking place in the middle of May. So this is all about finding out about sociolinguistics, regional dialects and things like that. So that is also another one. And then psychosocial and psychoanalytical studies. So if you're interested in the way the brain works, the way people behave, things like that, that one is also coming soon, but the dates are not yet available. So if you are interested in any of those, please feel free to check out the website, or you can email us at pgwebinarseries@essex.ac.uk. If you're an undergraduate student and you're interested in hospitality and hotel management, we have an experience day with our Edge Hotel School. These are all virtual, so you are more than welcome to book onto them. We also have a history conference day if you're interested in history. Winston Day is for maths students and is named after one of our former lecturers, and is kind of run in his honour. We also then have Taster Week, so this is for every subject, and it can give you a little flavour of what studying at Essex is like. And then finally, we have virtual open days, so they're all running on our website. If you have I've piqued your interest here, you are more than welcome, both undergraduate and postgraduate, to take a look and see what else we kind of offer, and see a number of different talks about applying, different funding opportunities, and things like that. So thank you very much for listening. Feel free to scan the QR code, as I said, or email me if you have any questions or want to stay in contact, and I will now answer any questions that you might have. Okay, so which programs mostly Turkish students prefer? So if I mean, it really varies because there are so many different courses and everyone's different. So our migration studies and our sociology programs are quite popular with Turkish students, but also more traditional degrees like computer science, economics, law, business, government. I'm kind of just naming all of them now, but there's no real typical Turkish student, if that makes sense. There's not a lot of kind of people in one area because it really depends what your own interests are. So yeah, but I'd say probably those ones are the main ones that people tend to be interested in. So next question. Is there a master's program in mechanical engineering, and what are the qualification requirements? We don't have many engineering programs, so I'm not going to tell you about scholarships because we don't have them for that program. We only have electronic engineering, communication systems engineering, robotic engineering, things like that. So if you're interested in the technical engineering, and we have undergraduate mechatronic engineering, which is potentially slightly closer, but we don't unfortunately have, mechanical engineering. Does your school have sports scholarships? Yes, we do. For this question, if there's a specific sport that you play, I would recommend you email me, because the prices of scholarships vary. It might be £1,000 or help buying equipment, things like that, or it can range to much more thousands of pounds of tuition fee discounts. But you do need to be playing at a pretty high level in order to get a sports scholarship. So Karem, please feel free to email me. It's h.harvey@essex.ac.uk, and I can tell you if you would be kind of a candidate and pass you on the direction of those who do the sports scholarship consideration and application details. If we study foundation year at another institution, can we start to year one at Essex? Do you have any partner institutions, or do we need to study foundation year at Essex? So we do have Kaplan International College on our campus. So Kaplan is kind of our partnered group foundation course provider, that's the word. So you can study a foundation with them. They also do the English language foundation if you need to improve your score, things like that. But you might not need to do a foundation year. So as I said, if you're looking for undergraduate and you're doing the lycée, but you get at least 70%, then you can start straight away. If you do, however, do it somewhere else, so if you did an into foundation program with a different university, for example, we can map your foundation year and still might be able to offer you admission. So yes, we will accept you and we will take a look at your grades and things like that if you've already started a foundation somewhere else. Do you offer part-time jobs to everybody who applied a part-time job after being admitted to university? Is there an elimination here? So the part-time job, you have to be right for the job. We can't guarantee anyone a job. Yeah, we don't guarantee anyone a job, basically. So there are plenty for you to apply for. So go for it, and there are kind of plenty to go around. I don't know kind of a student who wanted a part-time job who didn't get one. They might not have got their first choice job, for example, but there are plenty of jobs both within town and on campus that you should be able to find something, and most in-town employers are also flexible, so they know that we have a lot of students. We have a lot of big sixth form colleges, so year kind of 12 students who also have part-time jobs in town, things like that. So there's quite a high turnover of part-time jobs. So you've got a really good chance of getting one, but I can't guarantee that you will get one. It's like a normal job application process for all of them. Do we need to prove a statement of purpose and reference letters for application? Yes, to the statement of purpose. So whether you are undergraduate or postgraduate, you will be asked for a personal statement. So why do you want to study in the UK, which is kind of for visa purposes, like why do you want to study in the UK as opposed to anywhere else, but also why the subject, what's your kind of passion, is there a reason that you're interested maybe in Essex in particular, if it's a master's program, or a PhD, is there someone's work that you particularly kind of admire, things like that. And then reference letters, at the moment, we don't require them for most of our masters. It will vary slightly. There are some that you do need a reference, but for most part for masters, you don't need them. For undergraduate, we will ask for a teacher's reference to see if they think you're capable of study. So definitely personal statement, maybe reference letter. Do we need to prove a portfolio for all art programs? So the only art courses we have are art history, curating, and then things like film studies. And no, we don't expect an art portfolio from you because it's not kind of a fine arts. We're not expecting you to create art, if that makes sense. And then for film, we again will teach you how to make films. So if you don't have the experience in it, that doesn't matter. If you do have the experience, that's wonderful, but we'll help you to kind of create and edit and things like that. But the short answer is we only have art history and curating, not creative arts. So no, we don't need a portfolio. I hope that makes sense. Is education online or hybrid model during this period? How is pandemic situation in the UK recently? Great question. So we have been hybrid, which has been mostly online, unfortunately, since September. So we had a national lockdown in November. So the whole month of November, everywhere was shut, apart from supermarkets, pretty much. And that is then the situation we've been in currently. So we are coming out of a national lockdown. Our schools went back last week and this week. I can't go clothes shopping or to a bookshop or anything like that at the moment. I am working from home. I can only go to the supermarket to buy food. But we are moving out of it. So as of the 29th of March, we'll be able to meet up with 6 individuals outside, and then eventually restaurants and things will open. And hopefully by July, we'll be back to normal. Our vaccination program has been going really well. So everyone over 50 is in the process or has already been given the opportunity to be vaccinated, as well as pretty much all of our key workers. So that's going really well. And we are hopeful by September that we will be a little bit, more back to normal, but we'll continue to have hybrid, in place if necessary. At the moment, it is blended/online, so there's a lot of students who are mostly or purely online at the moment, with the exception of some of our healthcare courses, some of our language courses, and some of our biological sciences courses, as they have to use labs and translation facilities that are only available on campus. So it's a mix, but it's getting better, and we are hopeful for the next academic year. Someone said, my IELTS expired last week, but can I use it for Masters in Data Science? We would need a current English language test. So you can apply without an English language test. You can apply with your old one attached. However, it would still be a condition that you retake it and get a new one. You will have to take a new one. If it's expired, it must be recent. And another one, is Python used in data science master's classes? Yes, we have Python, we have C++ programming, we have Java, and a whole bunch of other ones. I don't know a huge amount about each individual one. I am not a computer scientist, but yes, Python is one of the systems that we use and we teach. Okay, if anyone has any other questions, please feel free to put them in now. I will type my email address into the chat box again, just in case anyone missed it. So you can ask me any questions you would like. I will respond to you as quickly as possible. You can arrange kind of one-on-one Teams meetings with me to chat through your specific circumstances, or about individual courses, queries, accommodation, scholarships, literally anything at all. Please feel free to get in contact with me. I can always point you in the right direction if I can't answer you personally. So I don't think we've got any more questions. So thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much, Heather, for your great presentation. We had quite a good amount of interesting questions and you covered them all.
Yeah, I think so. Everyone had good questions. I like it when people have good questions.
We believe it was a really informative webinar for the attendees. Also, I would like to thank the participants in Turkish as well.
Yeah, go for it.
Katıldığınız için teşekkür ederiz arkadaşlar. University of Essex ile ilgili diğer sorularınız için Heather'ın paylaşmış olduğu mail adresinden iletişime geçebilirsiniz. Linkleri de incelemeniz faydalı olacaktır. Yarınki webinarlarımızda görüşmek üzere. Thank you again, Heather. It was a pleasure to have you in IEFT Talks.
Thank you so much for inviting me, and I hope everyone has a good evening as well.
Take care. Bye-bye.